This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Shaun, and today I'm here to do my second recap of the iRacing NASCAR Fixed Truck Series. Now I say second because I already put out a video that recapped the week. It actually recapped the entire season. But in that video, I only covered 3 races from this week, the ones that counted in the championship points. Now I went kind of crazy that week. I actually did 11 races trying to crack into that top 20, and I only showed 3 to keep that series moving along at a decent pace. But I know some of you out there are interested in how those 11 races actually played out, so that's what I'm here to cover today, starting with the first race, where I made the top split of 2. My qualifying time had me starting in 10th spot, running in the 12th ranked truck of 19 total. The restart went well, and the week was underway. On the first lap, there was a caution. On lap 6, another caution. Then on lap 12, a third caution that I ended up hitting the wall slightly to avoid. I dove into the pits and ended up rotated back to the 15th position for the restart on lap 17. I found myself driving a little on the timid side, and I ended up just chasing the pack ahead. The race went green the rest of the way, and I fought the number 2 truck for the 14th spot, but got loose trying to hold the high line and settled for a disappointing 15th place. The room strength of field was 26.41, and 15th place only earned me 36 championship points, and I lost 41 iRating down to 22.95. I had 0 incidents and gained 0.09 safety rating to 3.54. In the second race, I was in the second split of 5, and I would start in the 5th place with the 5th ranked truck out of 20 total. I got another decent start and maintained that 5th position. By lap 8, I had moved up to the 4th position, and then a caution was thrown when the 17 and 19 trucks would get together. And during that caution, I moved up to 3rd place by staying out. For the restart, I held on to that 3rd position, but a couple of laps later, I would fall to the 1 truck, now on new tires. Just as he passes, another caution would fly, and I was locked into 4th position. On lap 17, another caution comes out, and it would take a few laps to clean up. For the restart on lap 22, I held on to 4th place, but that would be short-lived as yet another caution was thrown when the 19 and 16 trucks got together again. I restart again in 4th, and I fight that 1 truck for position with only 2 to go. We would fight all the way to the line, but I would lose that battle and finish in that 4th position. The room strength of field was 21.03, and my 4th place earned me 111 championship points, and I picked up 58 iRating to 23.53 and had a 0.08 safety rating gain to 3.62. For the 3rd race, I was in the 2nd of 6 splits, and I started in the 5th position in the 6th ranked truck out of 19. I got an okay start and fell in line in that 5th position. At the end of the first lap, a truck running low would get a wiggle and come up slightly. This caused 4 trucks to wreck and take on major damage. The next restart came on lap 5, with me still running in 5th place. I would get a good run down low for 4th just as fast as another caution would come out from some other trucks who ended up getting together. On lap 10, we would see our 3rd start of the race, and I would start on the outside row. I got a mediocre jump and was pinned up high going into 1 with trucks all around me. The trucks below gave very little room, and I came down into him, bringing out the 3rd caution in only 10 laps. This was just not my race, and I called it there with my heavily damaged truck. The room strength of field was 22.47, and that DNF finish of 17th place ended up scoring me 15 championship points. However, it would end up costing me 77 iRating, dropping me to 22.76. I got 4 incidents, and that cost me 0.16 safety rating, dropping me to 3.46. For the 4th race, I was in the 2nd of 3 splits, and I would start the race in 4th place. I was the number 1 ranked truck out of 19 in the room. I got a good jump, and so did everyone else. We ran 2 wide for the entire first lap. The truck in 3rd would drop to 5th, and the truck in 5th would move up to 3rd as I stayed right in 4th place. Until up ahead, the 2nd place truck got loose off of 2 and comes up into the wall ahead of me. I check up, and I push through in 3rd spot as the caution is thrown. I go in the pits to fix any damage, and I restart in 15th place on lap 6. I make a huge mistake, and I start the race in 3rd gear and drop down off the racing line. That same lap, the 4 truck would have trouble entering turn 3 as a truck comes down into his path. He weaves on and off the apron until he finally spins and comes back onto the track, hitting a couple of trucks and bringing out another caution. I would restart the race on lap 12 running in 11th place. I got a good start and picked up a spot right away. On lap 14, the 12 truck got a good run on me going into 3, and I took the wide line. I couldn't hold him off, and both he and the 15 truck go by, dropping me back to 12th. With some misfortune from some, and a couple of passes made by me, I'd moved my way back to 8th place by lap 23. And by lap 25, I had caught the back of the main grid and made a pass for 7th place. On lap 26 came 6th position, with 5th and 4th just ahead, only a few laps remaining in the race. On lap 27, I would pick up the 5th spot from the 10 truck running the lower line. Lap 28, I would run that low line once again and grab the 4th spot from the 18 truck. That left only 2 laps to go and a pretty big gap up to 3rd. I would have to settle for that 4th place comeback from 15th. The room's strength of field was 15-18, and a 4th place finish would earn me 80 championship points. I earned 34 iRating up to 2310 and had 4 incidents costing me another .09, dropping my safety rating down to 3.37. For the 5th race, I made the 2nd of 4 splits, and I would be starting in the 3rd position with the 7th ranked truck out of 20. On the start, the leader got a good jump, and I fought for 2nd place through turns 1 and 2, and by the end of the 1st lap, I was 3rd spot coming off of 2 on the 2nd lap. By lap 11, I had closed the gap and caught back up to the leaders running together. But on lap 12, a caution would come out and group the field back together for another restart. The leader would actually pit for tires, and I would pick up a spot for the restart that came on lap 16. I got an okay start and had to fight it out for 2nd place. Then coming off of turn 2, I secured that spot, but the 4 truck was now running 3rd place on fresh tires. That restart would be short-lived as another caution would be thrown when the 9 truck slides up and hits the 20, hurting both trucks significantly. The next race start was very similar, and I found myself fighting that 2 truck for 2nd spot once again. And again, another caution comes out when the 8 truck would have another problem that ends up collecting another couple of trucks. The final restart of the race would come on lap 25 with me again running 2nd on the outside row. This restart once again had me battling with the 2 truck fighting for 2nd place, but this time the 3 and 4 trucks were right there in the mix of it. This battle continued on all the way around as we took lap 26. We enter turn 1 3 wide and get through the first half okay. Then I come down slightly into the 4. He then goes slightly down into the 3 and a huge wreck then follows. This would hurt nearly half of the trucks in the field and leave me locked into the 2nd position as we finished the race under caution. The room's strength of field was 21-13, and my 2nd place finish would earn me 126 championship points, and I would pick up 78 iRating to 2388. I had 4 incidents and would lose .08, dropping my safety rating to a 3.29. So it's Saturday night, I've already put in 5 races, I'm still sitting 21st in the points. And I gotta tell you, my goal is a top 20. I'm 1 spot away from that. And I would be totally fine just not making my goal. That very well might happen. But I gotta tell you, I'm not going down without a fight. So, even though I've run 5 races, even though I'm to the point where it's gonna take average scores, I'm just gonna keep running. 21st, 23rd, 29th, nothing matters unless I make that top 20, and that's what I'm going to try to do. So here we go, Saturday night. Looks like I made the top split on the number 15 truck, so hopefully things will go well. If I can get up front, top 3, I could get some big points in this room, it looks like. That would be good moving forward. Otherwise, we'll see how it plays out. I was, in fact, in the top split of 5 and started in the 12th spot with the 15th ranked truck in the room. The race started out well, and I was able to pick up a spot right at the start. A quick caution would regroup the field. Then on the restart for lap 6, I got pushed wide and dropped back a few spots. On lap 8, another caution was thrown when the 7 truck spun. Under that caution, half of the field would pit, but I didn't, and I restarted in 6th place on lap 12. Over the next few laps, I would keep losing spots, and by lap 22, I was back to 12th again when another caution was thrown due to a wreck by a few trucks. I stayed out and would restart in 11th position, but I would lose another couple spots on the restart. Following that, the 20 truck had trouble up ahead of me, but I got by him narrowly. That brought out another caution with me locked into 11th place. That would end up being the end of the race as the field came to the line for the final time. The room strength of field was 3,073 and 11th place scored me 91 championship points. It also earned me 17 iRating and took me up to 2405. I had 0 incidents and gained .08 safety rating to 3.37. For race number 7, I made the second split of 6. I would start in the 9th spot with the 6th ranked truck out of 19. I got a good start and moved up to 8 by turn 1. On lap 2, a couple of trucks had a little problem and I got by for 6th place. On lap 4, the 16 truck would get loose ahead of me, I would gain 5th and a caution would come out. With one of the top trucks pitting under caution, I had moved up to 4th for the restart that came on lap 7. On lap 11, I had made a good pass and I moved my way up into 3rd place. But that would be short-lived as the 2 truck would fight me hard in turn 3. We touched slightly mid-corner and I pushed up high, allowing him to take that spot back. Following that, I fight off a run by the 3 truck as well and maintained 5th place. We continue to fight it out, and while going too wide, a caution is thrown when the 1 truck spins out and I was ahead by a nose, gaining the 4th position. Under caution, the lead truck decides to pit and I inherit 3rd spot for the restart on lap 18. I got an okay restart and so did everyone else. By the end of lap 18, I had fallen to 5th place with a line of cars behind me. On lap 20, I was getting a run on 4th and I ended up pushing wide. I hit the wall hard, then I held it up on the wall, keeping it out of the way of other trucks. By the time the dust had settled, I was running in 12th place with a damaged truck. I would continue to lose spots back to 14th until another caution was thrown when the 1 truck had another issue. I pitted under caution to see if I could fix the truck and grab new tires. The final restart would happen on lap 26 with me in 15th place. A couple of laps later, another caution would fly when the 12 and 18 would get together. The 2 truck also gets caught up in the mess and the race would once again finish under caution with me running in 12th place. The room strength of field was 2304 and my 12th place finish only earned me 56 championship points. And I lost 24 iRating, dropping me to 2381. The 2 incidents didn't cost me any safety rating and I stayed at 3.37. For the 8th race, I was in the 2nd of 6 splits. I started in the 7th position with the 10th ranked truck out of 17 total. The 9 truck didn't start the race and I gained a spot without even trying. The start went well and I jumped up into 5th place. There were a few early cautions in the race, and on lap 10, I would restart in 3rd spot. I then worked my way into 2nd place with a whole field of cars bunched up behind me. Then they started to touch, and a couple of them ended up spinning out, bringing out yet another caution. For the restart on lap 16, I would get a terrible jump, and this allowed the 16 truck to get a run under me, and that would start a whole train of trucks going low. By the time it was all said and done, I was back into 5th place on lap 19. By lap 23, I was feeling good, and I started to pass trucks back, with me now running on the low line. I moved back into 4th place. With 2 to go, I had a windshield full of the top 3 all battling for position. We raced it out for the final lap, and the entire pack would come all the way to the line with hardly any distance between cars, for one of the coolest race finishes of the week. The room's strength of field was 2381, and my 4th place finish would earn me 121 championship points. It would gain me 58 iRating, taking me to 2439. I had 0 incidents and picked up .09 safety rating to 3.46. For my 9th race, I made the 2nd of 4 splits, and I would start in the 8th position with the 3rd ranked truck out of 15 total. I got a good start and moved into 6th place right at the beginning of the race. On lap 2, the leader got loose between turns 1 and 2 and pulled low to let people by. On lap 3, the truck in 3rd place got loose off of 2, and I jumped up to 4th. Then on lap 4, the 7 truck gets loose, gets out of the gas, and I cruise by into 3rd. Then on lap 6, it happened again. The truck running in 2nd got loose off of 2, and I gained 2nd place in the race. At this point, me and the first place truck start to gain a little over the cars running in 3rd and 4th, and the rest of the grid is starting to spread out. On lap 10, the leader gets a little loose off of turn 4, and by the time we end up leaving turn 2 on lap 11, I had pulled into the lead. From there I would take over and the 4 truck would now follow. We would keep that slight edge over the cars in 3rd and 4th and the rest of the field. By lap 18, I had started to gain a slight edge over 2nd, who was now fighting with the 6 truck, who would then take over that spot. Other drivers were starting to complain about tire wear and begging for a caution to come out. I, on the other hand, was not. But on lap 19, their prayers were answered when the 7 goes up high into the 4 truck coming off of turn 4, and the 4 truck ends up into the wall, bringing out that caution. On lap 20, while coming to pit lane, the field would be divided. About every other truck choosing to get new tires and every other truck choosing to stay out with less than 10 to go on the restart. On lap 23's restart, the 7 truck tried to jump me at the line. I waited for him to back down, jumped on the gas, giving me a very clean start and clearly in the lead going into turns 1 and 2. However, this would be short-lived, as when I was coming off of turn 4, I slide up high and hit the wall. Not much damage, but lost a lot of speed as the 2 truck easily takes the lead. On lap 24, the 5 got up into the wall, and coming off of it, he collected the 15 and the 10 trucks and bringing out a caution. We would see a restart on lap 29 with me in 3rd place on the inside line. I got an okay restart and the 7 truck pins me down below the white line. We fight into turn 1 and he gets the advantage and I hold my 3rd spot. Meanwhile, a few beat up trucks fighting for final spots at the rear would get together and cause a caution that would have us finish that shootout under yellow. The room's strength of field was 1982, and my 3rd place finish would reward me 111 championship points. I would gain 58 iRating, taking me to 2497. I had 0 incidents and picked up 09 safety rating to 3.55. So on Monday morning, I woke up and I still hadn't cracked into the top 20. One of my teammates gave me a hard time and he convinced me to start doing a couple more races while there were still a few to go before the season was over. So with that, I climbed into my rig and I began my 10th race. I actually started in the top split of 2 and started the race in the 9th position with a 7th ranked truck out of 17. I got a good start from the mid-pack position and was up to 8th place right away. On lap 5, the 13 truck got a little wiggle and I was able to go by into 7th following the 5 truck. On lap 7, the 5 and the 8 truck start to fight it out up ahead of me. I have nowhere to go and the 13 truck comes back on the outside, and by lap 8 I was back to 8th place. By lap 13 I had lost the trucks ahead of me and I had been caught by the 3 and 7 trucks running together. I went up high, I led them by, hoping to hold on to their tails, now running in 10th position. We would continue in this formation for many laps until on lap 23 suddenly the 7 truck had picked up a small amount of damage and had lost his pace. I was able to go by for 9th place. Then with 2 to go, the 6 truck had an unfortunate disconnection and it gave everyone from 4th back a free position. This race would go from green flag to checkered without a caution and I would finish in 8th place. The room's strength of field was 2715 and my 8th place finish would earn me 95 championship points, and it gained me 28 iRating, putting me to 2518. I had 0 incidents and picked up .09 safety rating up to 3.64. In the 11th race, I made the top split of 3 and I started the race in 8th position with the 9th ranked truck out of 15 total. When the green flag dropped, I got a good start and held my 8th position, and it left me on the tail of the 6 truck. The leader of the race got loose off of 4 and dropped back, picking me up to 7th position. Then on lap 3, I got a good run on the 6 truck and passed him for 6th place going into turn 1. Then on the 4th lap, I smashed the wall coming off of turn 2. This not only beats up the truck a little, but it lets the 6 go by again for 6th place. This also allows the former leader in the 1 truck to go by under me as well. Then while following the group ahead of me, the 10 truck gets a good run down low and passes me, putting me back to 9th position. The 5 truck tries to follow, but I'm able to fight him off. Then on lap 11, me and the 10 truck start to fight it out, with the 5 is tucked in right behind me in the mix. I'm finally able to clear the 10th truck for 8th position. The 6th truck also gets into the wall off of turn 4 and goes back a bunch of positions. This allows me to get a run on the 1 truck, who then gets a little bit loose, and I go by, taking the 6th spot on lap 12. On lap 15, the 1 truck would be back for more and would pass me down low. The 10 truck would also try to go by down low, and we end up fighting it out until I hold that spot and run in 7th place. Up ahead, the top 4 were really going at it, with 2 other Simpit trucks in the mix. The 15 truck gets a wiggle and goes up into the wall, giving the 2 truck nowhere to go but into him. This would bring out a caution on lap 16, with me running in 6th place. The entire grid came down pit lane for new tires and to fix any damage from our long run. The only truck that actually stayed out was the now very lonely 10 truck. I ended up speeding on pit lane and had to go to the end of the grid for the restart on lap 21, now running in 13th place. Later that lap, I got a good run off of turn 4 and was able to pass 2 trucks to be in the 11th position by the beginning of lap 22. For some reason, the 5 truck had slowed up and I was able to go around him for what is now back into the top 10 in this race. Going into turn 3 on that same lap, my teammate was trying to run low entering pit lane to serve a black flag. The 8 truck clipped him slightly and he woes up enough for me to cruise by on the outside, passing them both and now running in 8th place. Then on lap 23, the 5 truck is back again and gets a great run off of 4. He now has the 8 truck in tow down low, and by the end of lap 24, they had both cleared me, knocking me back to 10th place again. Then the 10 truck with his old tires started falling back through the grid. The 5 and the 8 were fighting each other out, just trying to get around him, until the 5 truck was held up and I was able to pass him and the 10 truck, putting me back into 8th place yet again. On lap 27, the 11 truck got loose and ended up hard into the wall. The 12 truck had nowhere to go but slam into him, and I get under both of them for position but lose a bunch of steam as the 5 truck gets a run under me. The 10 truck goes with him as we fight it into turns 3 and 4. About mid-corner, the 10 gives the 5 a slight bump, and that wiggle is enough for me to push forward into 6th place. A few laps later, the race would end, and I would finish in 6th place all alone. The room's strength of field was 29.52, and a 6th place finish would be worth 117 championship points. I gained 42 iRating, taking me up to 2560. I had 0 incidents and picked up 0.09 safety rating to 3.73. So there you have it, 11 races in 1 week. For me, that's a ton. For many of you out there, it's just a drop in the barrel. It's really not that big of a deal. For me, I gotta tell you, I had a strong week this week. I scored more championship points this week than any other in the season so far, but it still left me 13 championship points short of my goal. And as disappointed as I was, I still had a great time running in the trucks this season. So if you're watching this video before any of the other videos or the recap from the 6th week, then head over to the Simpit.com, look at the top for driving school. Under there, you're gonna find the truck series, and you're gonna find this video along with all of the other videos from my 6-week season. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed the entire series. And if you have any questions or comments, put them with those videos at thesimpit.com, and I'll do my best to answer each and every one of them. This is the Simpit. I'm Shaun Cole, and I'll see you on the track.